Good evening, everyone. It's Theron Jacobson with the City of Verona. It is March 17th. This is progress meeting number 3 for the City of Verona East Side Interceptor Sewer and Madison Metropolitan Sewerage District Pumping Station 17 Force Main. The meeting logistics will be very similar exactly as the last ones. If you're participating by phone, you'll only be able to listen. Do not use the raise hand function during the presentation. We'll take all questions at the end, and we'll allow ample opportunity for each individual to ask any questions, and just limit your time. If you have multiple questions, we will definitely come back to you. Now, the agenda, introductions, presenters, construction schedule updates, the Badger Mill Creek restoration design update. I'll just touch base on the trail network again, and then communication, and then we'll take questions at the end. The presenters, Theron Jacobson, the Public Works Director. I also have Aaron McFarland, the construction engineer on site. And then also with us is Eric Jellin with MMSD. And then Dane County Parks and Land Water Resources Department will join us as necessary as their work commences later this summer. The project team is the same as it was before. The City of Verona and MMSD are the primary contacts, with Dane County, Short Elliott Hendrickson, Meager Construction is the general contractor, and then City and MMSD staff is the construction inspection. The progress meeting will be to provide construction-related updates, schedule updates, updates for the Badger Mill Creek restoration, and any questions that any residents may have. And Aaron, I'm going to allow you to take over control here and go over where things are at out in the field.
All right.
So I'm going to make you the host here, so bear with me.
Yep. There, it looks like I'm the host. Here, let me share my screen. Okay. So you should be seeing a marked up kind of picture of the project areas. Starting on the south end, kind of near from Bruce Street to Main Street, the Interceptor and the Force Main are complete, except for little short stretches shown in blue. The Force Main needs to be connected to the crossings under South Main Street. And as of today, the crossings under South Main Street are complete, and they were filled with cellular grout. About noon they were done. The creek crossings for the local connections have been completed, but once the whole Interceptor sewer is in, then they can be connected to the local crossing. So they're essentially just stubbed across right now. In the next month or so, depending on weather, restoration is planned to begin along Bruce Street and then working up towards Main Street. That's going to be seed restoration along like the pipe trenches and the construction zone, as well as restoring the Bruce Street pavement, putting in permanent pavement, permanent sidewalks. So that will include a closure of Bruce Street, anticipated for 2-3 weeks, date to be determined. So as we work north or east from Main Street to Lincoln Street, that's kind of where they're focusing right now. Shown in green, that is Force Main and Interceptor sewer. That's complete. They have a little bit of Force Main to tie in just north of Main Street. And then they're currently working on Force Main kind of in this little area where it's blue to catch up to where they have gravity sewer installed. They are also working on the Melody Circle local connection. They are placing a casing kind of in the easement area from Melody to close to the creek bank or the property line. And then eventually they are going in the next few weeks or so, they're going to cross the creek and connect there. Again, like the other crossings, they won't, they'll make the connection, but they won't place it in service until the whole interceptor is complete. So then moving forward in the next few months, they're just going to keep progressing towards Lincoln Street, towards the east end of the project. So I anticipate they'll be close to Lincoln Street in about a month or so, give or take. And then they're still dewatering ahead of the pipe, so they still have a crew that are placing wells. They anticipate doing that just north of Lincoln Street. And I think that's about it for progress. Let me get back to you and make you the host, Darren.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Let me get the presentation restarted again. So Aaron just went over the schedule. The only thing I'd add to that is once pipe installation gets closer to the Lincoln Street bridge, we will have to close that again. And that's already been coordinated with the school district. So they know that'll change their kids' transportation route. So, but that'll just be closed for that neighborhood for a short duration of time, to be determined exactly how long. Aaron went over the schedule. The overall schedule hasn't changed, with anticipated to be completed in the fall of 2021, with the Dane County restoration work being in the summer of this year also. And like always, schedules are subject to change depending on weather and field conditions. This is a snapshot of the 3-week look ahead that we got from the contractor as of March 8th, which Aaron basically went over, but this will be within the video that'll be uploaded to YouTube if anyone wants any detailed information on this.
Darren, are you sharing your screen?
Oh, probably. Thanks, Aaron.
Yep, I see it now.
All right. Apologize for that, everyone. All right. So this is the 3-week look ahead schedule, which Aaron basically gave an overview of. I can give an update on the Badger Mill Creek restoration. That's the city portion of the project south of Lincoln Street. Like I said last time, the consultant's under contract. We've had meetings with the DNR, Trout Unlimited, and the proposed improvements we're looking at is regrading the bank and restoring that with vegetation. In-stream rock deflectors, in-stream boulders. Preliminary plans and the permit applications are in progress. Those will be submitted in early April, and at that point is when I will have the plans in hand and I will put them on a website that I will link to everyone so they can go and take a look and provide comments on them. Potential construction is hoping to be this year, but that'll be permit dependent and contract dependent and getting authorization to do that work. The public involvement plan, I kind of touched on that already. Once plans are in place, I'll create a website and upload the plans for input, and then I'll also continue to provide monthly updates at this meeting under the Interceptor project. The locations again are as follows: from Bruce Street through M, we're going to focus on the east side or south side of the creek. So that's all city-owned property, and each location will be dependent on constructability, site access, and permittability. And then going north from M to the Lincoln Street Bridge, focus on the south side and or the east side as we move north. And then the area between Melody Circle and Hillcrest is all focused on the east side of the creek. The trail network, I touched on this last time. I'm just bringing this up again with the For the paved path route, as you can see, that is in the dashed black line from M through Arbavita that would be constructed as part of this project. And once again, I just got the meetings where this was discussed at and staff support for it and the overall connectivity for the city. The park board is meeting tonight at 7 o'clock, I do know, to discuss maintenance elements. And the Public Works Committee has discussed the project at each of the last meetings also. And overall, there's the support from staff for it too. The next meeting regarding this project will be April 21st at the same time, same Zoom meeting link. I will also get this meeting onto the city's YouTube page. Give us till next week to get that up, but that will be up at the same link as just all the other ones on the city's webpage. For the YouTube, you can get to that through the project webpage or through the city council agendas too. The website information is the same as before. That hasn't changed. And ultimately, Dane County's website has not changed to my knowledge also. And at this point, we can take any questions that anyone in the audience may have. Kyla Smith, I'm going to allow you to talk.
Very good. Thank you. Just a couple quick questions. And maybe this is one that is more applicable to parks. But do you have any knowledge on what the material is that's going to be used to pave the path?
It would be your typical asphalt at this point that you would construct a road with in one lift.
Okay. Any concerns that have come up with that being, or are there any materials that are being considered that might be more water permeable in terms of avoiding like water pooling on that surface as opposed to being able to run into and permeate the surface?
At this point, no, we haven't been directed to investigate that, but we will have a cross slope on that path, so it will drain appropriately and, you know, minimize any winter, you know, pooling on the surface or, you know, possible for slips, trips, etc. But at this point, no.
Okay. And then what about any concerns or any awareness of material that might be running off from the pavement into the creek? So for example, like if there would be need to resurface the path or just even with construction of the path, anything that's going to be done to help limit or eliminate runoff from the path into the creek?
All the plans that we developed took that into account beforehand and minimize that as much as possible. I mean, there is going to be a buffer between the edge of the path and the creek that'll act as a vegetative buffer to slow runoff down and create as much of a filter as possible. That is a typical best management practice. But otherwise, no, I mean, all the permits have been in place. The construction means and methods are very typical of normal construction. We also constructed a path very similar to this, different contractor, different project, adjacent to the creek south of here as part of the Fireman's Park project with no issues.
Sure. Okay. Wondering about the reroute that of the creek behind Melody Circle. I had remembered that being rerouted back to its original flow. Is there a timeline on when that's happening? Just with like, you know, thinking about the season that we're coming into in terms of more rain and potential for flooding. that creek route's pretty close to some homes that are back in there.
Aaron, you know the schedule on that, if I'm
Yeah,
not mistaken.
I actually was, thanks for bringing that up. I was actually planning to mention that. They're planning to put that back in place in the next few weeks. They have a third crew kind of on site that's helping out, and they're leaving, I think, early April, and that's one of the items on their list is to get that back in place. So it might not be for a few weeks, but I would say like within a month, that's their plan to
Okay,
get that put back.
cool. And then Theron, could you said the date of when the restoration plans will be available and like ready for public comment. Did you say April?
Yeah, early April.
All right, cool.
And
All right, I think that does it for me.
okay, thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Paul Cundy has a just question he typed in. Who approves the permits for the stream restoration? The DNR does. Are there any other questions from the attendees in the audience? Tim Spencer.
Yeah, thanks. I had a couple. Someone thought they had noticed that the flow of the creek is a little lower than it has been in the past. And I'm just wondering, did you guys work something out with Madison Sewage District to decrease the flow back into Badger Mill up by the 18151 there? Or is that just our imagination that it's lower?
If we, Eric, you want to go ahead and take that?
Sure, yeah. We have turned the pumps down. They're on a variable speed drive, so we've slowed down the speed. We've reduced the amount of flow, but that was, I think we've done it twice now, and it was like for 2 days each time we did it. But other than that, no, our flow from MMSD is normal. As far as the flow in the creek, I don't know if that's the normal flow or not, but the flow from us has not changed, other than those couple times for the creek crossings.
Okay, thanks. And then I was listening to your update on where the work is taking place right now, and I was a little confused because I thought there was, equipment work happening closer to Lincoln Street Bridge. So what is it they're doing right there right now? Just staging pipes and stuff?
Yeah, so the stuff that's going closer to Lincoln Street Bridge would be the dewatering operation. So they probably have a backhoe with a drill on there. Currently, they are not doing that. They didn't do anything up there this week. So if you did see anything like a loader or something like that, they would be staging materials. But they will eventually progress that dewatering operation to the Lincoln Street Bridge. And then I think they're planning to go a little bit beyond that. And then basically behind that, then the pipe crew comes and puts the pipe in after dewatering's been in.
Okay, thanks. That's all I had.
Thank you. Kyla, your hand is still up. Do you have another question? Or if you could, click the hand mark off. Thank you. Any other questions from anyone? Going once. Going twice. Third time's a charm, no questions. All right, thank you everyone for attending, and I will get this video up on YouTube early next week, and everyone enjoy your evening, and we will see you in a month. Thank you.